Okay, we did get done with the test on this distributor, so I'm just going to show briefly how to disassemble a distributor quickly. It doesn't take a lot here. They're not that complicated. So the first thing is you want to do is take the pin out of here, the roll pin that's down in the base, and you want to support this gear and use a 1/8 punch. Punch the roll pin out, and sometimes you can get them out. Almost all there you go. So there's a roll pin out. It should have other stuff on it by the way. And that allows the gear to come off. So we want to put those pieces off to the side. Now this was, again, run for a few seconds. So the next thing would be to just simply pull out the shaft with the cam and the weights. That could be pulled out next, but we could even do this a little quicker by just removing the springs with the centrifugal weights, and it's not too difficult, although these are not the correct springs on this W-30 distributor. So that allows me, once the springs are off, to remove the two centrifugal advance weights. And there they are. I just oiled them up when I did this. So then the shaft comes out next, which we could wipe off the excess oil. And that was just an initial run on that. And so now we have the points cam and the weights, the cam for the centrifugal advance, and this just simply slides apart here. So we want to take that apart very carefully, not scratch anything. There we go. And that all comes apart. These parts are all going to be cleaned up and checked again and really cleaned well, probably bead blast, other than the cam here, which will be polished, the points cam, it'll be polished. And we can set that aside. And just wipe off the excess oil for now. Although these will be all cleaned up real well, and I'm going to do some polishing on the surfaces here where they're worn and there's some wear here. But I think by polishing them and using, we'll try some new springs on this, and we'll get this thing dialed in so it's back to factory specs for the customer here. And I think we'll be okay with that. So these parts are all done. Now the next thing is taking out the small little spring up here, and that's just a matter of getting the little spring clip off here. Actually, here's the end of it, and it's just a matter of popping that out. We don't want to damage it, but we do want to get it out. And sometimes it's better holding this in a vise to do this. There we go. I almost started it. Actually, rather than use a small screwdriver, I should be there almost. There we got it up above there. Once you get it above there, then it comes right off. So there's that little, we don't want to lose that. It's a very delicate little part there. And it allows us to remove this assembly here. Probably the next thing would be to get use a gunsmith screwdriver, which is straight blade. And let's loosen the two wires for the condenser and the lead here, and those come off. And that allows us to take the points plate off next, and it's just a matter of slowly, we really don't want to pry on it, we just want to get it up past the, there we go, let's move it slow from each side, and just raise it up. And it should pop off pretty soon here, there we go. Okay, and we take that off next. And we got to get the wires off here. Now the other wire again was connected to the vacuum advance, so the next step is to remove those screws so we could take off the vacuum advance and the ground lead here from the points plate. That's just a matter of taking the screws out. That's off. Those are screws, those are brand new screws. And then the second one is take the other vacuum advance. Again, these holes are retapped. I'd like to get some longer screws to capture all the threads because they were stripped. The one was stripped out a little bit here, and we don't want that. We want a nice secure vacuum advance when we're done with this. Although it seems to be holding pretty good now. There we go. So there's the vacuum advance is disconnected. And again, I'm going to use a new old stock one in the rebuild here for this fellow. And the next thing is to get this out, and I use should have had out already, but I just use a scriber and I just kind of catch. First, you can take the felt seal out. We're going to replace it with a brand new one, so take that out. But to get the plastic seal out, I just kind of grab it a little bit, and there you go, it comes right out. We're going to replace that with a brand new one. I have new ones of those also, so everything's going to be basically new with this here. I'm going to put all new parts in here for the customer. And the last thing is getting the wire out, and that, since this was a new wire but a used grommet or protector, it's just a matter of getting the wire out of here. And that's the major disassembly of this here, and since I put oil in here, we'll let that soak, and that should take care of that. And that's how to take apart a Delco Oldsmobile Distributor from the 1964 through 1974 era, basically. And we'll do more on this as we restore this thing. There's usually an O-ring on here too, but that disintegrated when I removed it. It was all hard, so we're going to replace that with a new O-ring after we bead blast this here. But we'll let this thing soak and get all the oil out of this thing, and start the restoration process on it. And that concludes this video. So thanks for watching again, and we'll see you next time.